Lion Accountability Browser. It's a completely free to use and easy to set up porn accountability browser app as well as reporting system, and is currently only available on Apple products only, like iPhone or Mac. So if you're an Apple user, then you're gonna wanna buckle up for this video, because Lion is an excellent option for really good accountability for almost free of cost. But there are some loopholes and ways to circumvent the system that you really should know about, but I've done the research and I've found creative solutions just for you. Hey guys, Benji here, helping you quit porn and masturbation for good. Before we get started, I want to introduce to you two really good videos on this channel that you can watch right after this one. One of them is going to be a stacking up video of all the top 5 porn filtering accountability softwares out there. I reviewed them in depth and used them. I'm gonna stack them up against each other side by side so that you can make the best decision. That video is gonna be right down below. The second video that you should really watch after this one is how to quit pornography, my step-by-step guide that I use to help guys through this process. At the end of this video, I want to give you guys my 21-day reboot workbook totally for free with a promo code. I'm gonna give that to you at the end of this video. I'm gonna tell you if you should get this software or not, and I'm gonna review it from the perspective of a past porn addict myself, as a parent, and as a certified sexual addiction consultant that has helped guys over the last 10 years beat porn for good. So let's jump right in. We're gonna cover how the software works, we're gonna cover how much it costs, and we're gonna talk about the limitations and whether or not I recommend it to you for your own porn recovery journey or for your family. So how Lion works, it's very simple. You just download the app from the App Store, then you instantly have access to the Lion browser that looks very much similar in design to Safari. Once you have it downloaded, you can designate certain partners, accountability partners, that will receive weekly reports about the content that you're watching through the app. So it's free to download and free to use, but it costs $12.99 to add partners, accountability partners, to your program. The good thing about the pricing point, it's a one-time fee. It's just 13 bucks, and you can add as many accountability partners as you want. So for 13 bucks for unlimited accountability partners, it's a good deal so far. And because Lion is really focused on just the accountability part of it and having conversations and sending reports to your accountability partners, it's not really focused on the actual porn blocking and filtering. So it doesn't have a built-in porn filtering system, but rather it just focuses on being a really good and very simple accountability reporting system. So if you're wondering if you can actually filter and block pornographic content as well as do the reporting on the app itself, you can do that by using parental control on your iPhone or Mac. And when you do use parental control settings to block content online, they recommend that you have one of your accountability partners actually set it up, and so they have access to the passcode so that you can't change the settings later on. As you can see, the Lion browser is really focused on just being a simple to use accountability reporting system, and you're probably already finding ways to circumvent the system and find loopholes to actually access porn. And that's exactly why this software is really good for anyone who is really serious about getting over their habit, as well as has a level of self-control and self-honesty. And it's not designed specifically for parents or for families who are trying to monitor the content that's being seen online by the family. So now let's get to the pros and cons of the Lion software. The main pros is that if you're struggling and if you're trying to find accountability software that just keeps you accountable, it's simple, it's easy to use, it's cheap, it's basically free. I mean, it's just 13 bucks for forever for all the accountability partners you could want. So if you're really serious about it, maybe you have a certain level of control, self-control, and honesty, and you're able to be honest with your accountability partners, then this is a really great option for you. If you're an adult and you have a certain level of freedom in your life and you just want to be more accountable online, then this is an excellent way to limit your screen time, limit the content that you're watching online, and ultimately have conversations. What we found over and over, especially with the groups of guys that I work with in my line of work, is that guys who just are being controlled by filtering or monitoring, they tend to find ways to find loopholes or circumvent the system. But if you just make accountability and conversation more important than control, then that's the way that the conversation starts, and you actually can reach out for help when you need it the most. It's also super easy to use as well as super simple price-wise. You just download the app. If you want an accountability partner, you just paid 13 bucks for one time, and you send them an email. You enter their email address. It automates an email to them. They accept it, And then from then on, every week, they receive a report of all the content that you watched online, and they're encouraged to have conversations, and they kind of give the accountability partners some tips as to how they should support you in the journey. As for the major drawbacks and cons of Alliance software, the main one being that you really have to have a lot of self-control and self-honesty to set it up. But once you set it up, you can have real, genuine accountability and filtering for yourself. And the way that I have found to effectively limit and block and filter pornographic content through the app is just to use parental controls within your Apple device. And through parental controls, you can limit screen time, you can limit downloading new apps such as new browsers so that you can't circumvent it and get porn through different apps, and just have your accountability partner or someone have the password to your parental control so that you can't change it later on. And if you need to block specific apps or websites that are a little triggery or edgy or anything like that, like Safari, for example, which I know is already installed on Apple devices, then you can download an app called Freedom. Freedom is a really good option. It's worth getting the paid membership for because it allows you to limit a lot of things and really focus on things that you're supposed to be doing online as opposed to wasting time on websites or specific apps or spending too much time on your phone in general. Overall, guys, I really like this software. It's simple, and I think the guy that made it is just a genuinely good person. He seems to offer a good service for a really good price. So if you're an Apple user, if you're an iPhone user, and you need accountability in your life, then this is the option for you. It's basically free to use. You can get real accountability, and like I always say, accountability and conversation is more important than just control. So the more you can have conversations, the more you can have give and take with people about your porn habit, the better you will be left off with your habit, okay? It's a matter of give and take. If you're just having give and take and conversations in your own head and saying, oh, I can beat it, I can do it myself. When this X, Y, and Z happens in my life, then I'll be able to do it. When I'm married, then I'll be able to give it up. It doesn't happen like this. You have to have conversations. And that's why this kind of software is very effective. So here's the big question. Should you get accountability software? I do recommend it for most people. And that is because porn accountability software is a really, really good conversation starter. What I mean by that is in most cases, what people really need to overcome a porn habit is just to have conversations, just to have give and take with somebody about their habit. And the best way to start those conversations is just to have accountability and software send a report to somebody that you designate to receive those reports. Accountability software is really effective for families, especially with families with young kids, because it allows you to start conversations about the habit. However, porn accountability software sometimes is not so effective for people that have a very severe addiction to pornography. If you're wondering if someone has if you have a severe addiction, check out other videos on this channel where I talk about the spectrum of addiction, and you can figure out exactly where you are on that spectrum. It's also not always so effective for adults who have an easy way to circumnavigate the system and find a way around the software to just get access to porn. Either way, I do recommend that you try software for you if you're a parent and doing it for your family, or if you're an individual looking for some accountability. This might be the one thing you need to do to get better. If you're struggling with porn and masturbation yourself, ask yourself this question: what have you been avoiding in your journey to overcoming your porn and masturbation habit? This is where the idea of the one thing comes into my process. The one thing is your thing that you need to do, that you know you need to do, but you're avoiding doing it because you're secretly trying to keep the habit close to the chest, and you're trying to keep the habit with you for as long as possible. So think about what the one thing is that you need to do. Write it down if you need to. Maybe you need to tell somebody. Maybe you need to tell a parent or your spouse, or maybe you need to get accountability. And that is the answer here. If your one thing is you need more accountability in your life, then absolutely get the software. Just do it. There's one guy that I was mentoring at one point who had a pretty severe porn habit. And I asked him, why don't you get software? Why don't you get some accountability in your life? And he kept putting it off and saying, no, I don't need that. I don't need that. That's not for me. I'm not the guy that does that. That's what he kept saying. And I asked him why. And I tried to dig a little deeper and figure out why was this such a roadblock for him to get the software. And I realized that this was his one thing that he needed to do, but he was trying not to do it because he secretly wanted to keep porn and masturbation as an emotional support system, as a crutch to go back to in his life whenever he was feeling stress or angry or negative emotions. So once he did it, and just realized that he was avoiding it because he didn't want to actually get better and he wasn't actually serious about getting better, then he started to get better because it was a thing, it was the biggest domino in his process and he just needed to knock it over. Maybe the one thing you need to do is tell somebody about your habit. Maybe the one thing you need to do is subscribe to this YouTube channel. Or maybe the one thing you need to do is to get some accountability software. Or maybe you need to do the 21-day reboot, which I'm going to give you for free right now. In my experience, about 80% of men can predictably and powerfully quit porn for good within 21 days. The reason that they don't do it is because, like I've been talking about, they're not as serious as they think they are. If you're serious about getting better, if you're willing to do the work, and if you understand the impact that porn has had on your life, then this is the answer for you. You can get the 21-day reboot workbook for free right now at benuyama.com. You can use the promo code BEN, B-E-N, and get it totally for free. This is the exact 21-day process that I use for guys to help them reboot, rewire, detox, and actually recover from their porn habit, from starting with, what do you want to fill your life more with? The reason we use porn is it because it's this escape system, escape mechanism from things in our lives that we're not excited about. How do you fill your life with things that are more thrilling and exciting and not temporary anymore? How do you fill your life with thrill that is genuine and not the artificial thrill of pornography and masturbation? How do you fill your life with things that you're so excited about that pornography and masturbation just becomes an afterthought, something that just lives under your bed and you never think about? Also, be sure to watch my review where I stack up all 5 of the top porn accountability softwares and compare them. I'm going to put that video right here and I'm going to put it right down in the description where you can check it out right now. If this video is helpful, then go ahead and smash the like button, because we are on a mission to help 1 million people beat porn for good. And also, if that's you, then consider subscribing and also watching other videos on this channel to help your momentum keep going. It's good to have you. Take care.